I'll chant and please repeat after me. Gururuvacha Satyamaha Bhavanatra Viganam Naiva Vidyate Hetu Padartha Bodhohi Hetu Padartha Bodhohi Vakyartha Vagateriha Vakyartha Vagateriha. The teacher says, you're right when you say that the knowledge of the meanings of the words in a sentence is essential in order that one may be able to understand its meaning. So when the teacher said, all you need to know is Tat Tvamasi, that thou art. And the student said, but I don't understand. Why don't you understand? Well, to understand a sentence, I need to know what do you mean by that? Well, that's Brahman, that's Paramatma. Yeah, but what's Brahman? What's Paramatma? And what do you mean by you, thou? It's Jiva. Jiva is a sentient being. What is that Jiva? So, and if I don't know the meanings, how will I understand the meaning of the whole sentence? If I don't know the meanings of the words. Meanings of the words means, what do those words refer to? So from now on, and the teacher here acknowledges that you are right. One needs to know the meanings of the words in order to understand the sentence which contains these words. That's obvious. What Americans would call a no-brainer. It's obvious. Now the rest of this book is we are going to investigate the meanings of the words of Tat Tvamasi. Tvam means you in Sanskrit. But what does it mean you, I? What exactly is this I? And that, what exactly is that ultimate reality? Brahman, Saguna Brahman, and ultimately Nirguna Brahman. So we will investigate that. The structure of the book is like this, I will tell you, and we will structure our retreat accordingly. From now on, up to about the 27th verse, from now on till about the 27th verse, we will investigate the meaning of the word Tvam, you. How do we investigate that? We will ask ourselves the question, who am I? What am I? So that's basically the bulk of the book, an investigation into what we are, what am I. And we are going to spend maximum amount of time on this. From now on till verse number 27, we're going to spend this session and the next one in the afternoon and the last one today. Then from the next verse after 27, from 28 onwards, there will be a few verses which will discuss that. Tat Tvamasi, you are that, discuss that. That is, they discuss God or Saguna Brahman, Sri Vallabha, Vishnu. What is that ultimate, that reality from which the entire universe has come? We'll talk about that. And the last portion will be how then, once we have understood the meaning of Tvam and Tat, thou and that, you and that, how do we now understand the meaning of the sentence, you are that, Tat Tvamasi? So that will be the next part. And then finally there will be a conclusion which will show you how do you get the benefits of this? How do you become enlightened and get the benefit of it? So this is the structure of the book, and our retreat also will be structured accordingly. Today we will do just who am I? And Shakaracharya devotes a bulk of this book to that question. Who am I or what am I? What exactly am I? This is crucial, especially if you say one session which is the most important in the whole retreat is this one. And then tomorrow the first session, or the second session basically will be devoted to Tat, Saguna Brahman, Ishvara, Bhagavan. And then the last two sessions will be devoted to will be given to finding out the meaning, extracting the meaning of the sentence. The process of extracting the meaning of the sentence is called Vakya Vritti. That is the title of this book. Vakya Vritti. Vakya means sentence. Vritti means the procedure for interpreting it. What is, or literally the interpretation, the mode of interpretation. Vritti is just a mode. So Vritti means how do you understand the sentence Tat Tvamasi? That's the meaning of Vakya Vritti. Vakya, sentence, not any sentence. Tat Tvamasi, you are that. Vritti, method of understanding it. So, attend carefully to this one, if nothing else, at least this session. Now, hopefully everything. And from the afternoon sessions onwards, we have a big Q&A session, I think, today at the end today. Yes, both days. So in the afternoon, both sessions, I will permit a little bit of Q&A so that, it's important to have a little bit of interaction. When I started teaching monks, the novice monks in our main monastery, we call them brahmacharis. So, if you see the brahmacharis, they'll be dressed in white and they'll have the shikha, that's a tuft of hair. So, I was a teacher there and I was the youngest, so I used to be called a baby acharya. That acharya means a master. But I was, and a very senior monk told me, the principal, the head of the entire institution, told me, ask questions in between. Then you'll be horrified at the state of affairs. Because when you are teaching, they will all shake their heads. Do you understand? Yes. And the tuft of the hair will swing back and forth. In Bengali, it's much more funny in Bengali. I'll tell you in Bengali, is what I just said. প্রশ্ন করবে নাহলে তো সবসময় মাথা নাড়ছে and টিকি নেড়ে বলবে হ্যাঁ সব বুঝেছি প্রশ্ন করলে দেখবে কি ভয়ানক অবস্থা. If you ask a question to them, then you will realize what a horrific state of affairs it is. So you have to ask me questions. If you don't, I'm threatening that I'll ask questions. So you have to ask questions, but not this one. The 2 sessions in the afternoon. All right, let's plunge right in. What are we going to do now? Tattvamasi, you are that. You are that absolute reality. That's what Vedanta wants to tell us. First of all, Vedanta says to understand that, you must understand the words, you and that. When the teacher says, you are that, the student is supposed to understand, I am that. Not Tattvamasi again. Then it will go back and forth in the teacher. Teacher says, you are that. Yeah, I got it. What did you get? You are that. No, you are. Everybody is. But I must understand, I am that reality. And that will solve all my problems. Big claim. In Vedanta, one solution to all problems. One answer to all questions. I want you to see how that could be true. When we go through all this, you'll begin to see how that could be. If you don't get how that could be true, you have to ask. People often ask questions like, Swami, tell me some practical methods. What is how do I apply it to control my temper? I'm very angry, or I'm very restless, or I'm very unhappy. Give me some practical methods. Vedanta does not work piecemeal like that. If you want practical methods to control anger or something, then I'll give you a little bit of a mindfulness exercise. Sit quietly, breathe in, breathe out. But Vedanta goes to the root of the problem and solves everything at one stroke. How that works, if you see it, great. If you don't see it, you should ask. Verse 11. The teacher now starts teaching. What is he going to teach? Who are you? Who am I? That's the inquiry now. Why are we learning that? That's the meaning of the word tvam, you. Why are we learning that? Because that word comes in the sentence tattvamasi. We need to know the meaning of tvam, you. Why are we learning the sentence tattvamasi? Because that's the essence of Vedanta. That's what Vedanta is. You learn that sentence, you have done it. You understand the meaning of that. Verse 11. Anta karana vritti. Wait. Anta karana tad vritti. Anta karana tad vritti. Sakshi chaitanya vigraha. Sakshi chaitanya vigraha. Anandarupa satyasan. Anandarupa satyasan. Kimnatmanam prapadyase. Kimnatmanam prapadyase. So let's do it once more. Antakarana tad vritti. Karana tad vritti. Sakshi chaitanya vigraha. Anandarupa satyasan. Anandarupa satyasan. Kim natmanam prapadyase. Why do you not know yourself, who are an embodiment of existence, knowledge, bliss, the witness of the internal organ and its modifications? All right. Who am I? And the answer is, you are the witness of the modifications of the mind. Let's take this carefully. Antakarana Vritti. What is Antakarana? Broad English term would be mind. It means all our thoughts, all our emotions, all our perceptions, all our memories, and the ego which says I. Basically, whatever is going on inside. Not physically inside the mind. Physically inside, what's going on in the body, you can know that through scans and tests and all. But what's going on as a first-person perspective, what you are all of us, we are experiencing right now, all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, these are called Antakarana Vritti. Literally, Antakarana means inner instrument. Inner instrument. What instrument? And are there outer instruments also? Yes, there are. Our sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, the skin, the tongue, sense of the 5 sense organs, they are called external instruments. Why external instruments? Because they put you in touch with an external world. With the eyes, you see forms. With the ears, you hear sounds right now. With the tongue, you just tasted tea or coffee. From the external world, impulses, information is coming in, experiences are the inputs are coming in through the gates of these 5 instruments. So they are your external instruments. You deploy them to get inputs from the world outside. They are in touch with an external world, so to say. But what happens? Where do all these inputs they come in? They come into the mind. All the information is dumped in what I generally call the mind. In Sanskrit, in Indian philosophy, there is a more technical, specific term, Antakarana. From the external instruments, the data gathered is dumped into the inner instrument. It's like a processor inside. And this inner instrument, it's called inner because it's not directly in contact with the external world. You can't see directly with the mind. You need the eyes to see. You can't hear directly with the mind. You need the ears to... Just you cover the eyes, mind can't see anything. But the mind is also necessary because if you are distracted, I can talk Vedanta by the hour, nothing will get through. Ears are there, Vedanta is being taught, the voice is there, but mind is not attentive. So mind, inner instrument must be aligned with the external instrument, which must be aligned with the inputs coming in from the world. So this is Antakarana Vritti. Antakarana, the inner instrument, even more in depth, if you want more fine-grained analysis, the inner instrument has 4 components. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. What do they mean? The Sanskrit word manas actually corresponds to the English word mind. But the English word mind is broad, ambiguous. It includes everything. Manas is a specific faculty of the mind where processing is going on. Sankalpa vikalpatmakam mana. Where information has come in and processing is going on. Is it this or is it that? Various kinds of data is pouring in. That's the state of an inner instrument that is called mind. Now when the processing delivers a result, I get it. He just said, Tattvamasi, I got it. Okay, this is he teaching me from the Upanishads. This is Buddhi. This state of the inner instrument is called intellect. The power to understand, to comprehend, to get it. Oh, I got it. When we all did math, we all have this experience. I'm trying to work out a problem. I'm trying to understand, trying to get it. That is manas. It's working. Mind is working. I got it. That's intellect. I got it. Buddhi. And then we cannot do anything without a storehouse of information of all our accumulated knowledge, impressions from the past for years and years, since childhood. This storehouse is called chitta, memory. And there is one more faculty in the inner instrument called ego, ahankara. What does this ego do? It sort of coordinates and unites all these activities. So when the mind is thinking, what's our experience? I am thinking. That's the ego, ahankara. When you see something, eyes are seeing, mind is processing, memory is giving inputs from past experience. But what does the ego do? I am seeing. When you understand something, you get a joy, the understanding is there. You have understood something, what does the ego do? I understand. No, the intellect understood. But the ego says, I understand. And it's an important function of the mind. It is, we might call it an appropriating function, which all the activities which surrounds the ego, all of them are connected and coordinated and united by the ego. That's what makes us feel like one individual being, ego, aham. But it's also an activity of the mind. It's not really you. It's also antakarana vritti. Vritti here, just like Vakya vritti. It's just a movement, a modification. Modification of what? Modification of the mind, modification of the intellect, modification of the memory. All of these are antakarana vritti. This is what's going on inside us. This whole information processing. Feelings are also included in that, emotions. Antakarana tadvritti, the inner instrument and all its modifications. Antakarana tadvritti. Remember, whenever we do this, it's very important not only to listen carefully, one, not only to understand, two, but also to track it in your own experience. So he says antakarana tadvritti, a mouthful, Sanskrit mouthful. It just simply means what's going on inside me right now. That is antakarana tadvritti. Okay, so here is the thing. Crucial insight. Without Vedanta, we all generally identify ourselves with antakarana vritti. What does that mean? That's what we think we are. If you really ask, yeah, Swami, I know I'm not really a body, but I'm an embodied, embodied what are you? I'm a person. I'm a mind. I think, I feel, I remember, I have a personal history. This is antakarana vritti. And this is exactly what we think we are. And right now, Vedanta, the Guru is telling the student, the meaning of you, the word you, is not antakarana tadvritti, is not the mind or the thoughts in the mind, is not the identity or the thoughts about the identity, is not your memories or your personal memory, that this is who I am. Not that. That's not the meaning of the word you. What does you refer to? What does I refer to? Antakarana tadvritti sakshi. You are not the activities of the mind, the inner instrument. You are the witness of that. You are that which experiences the movements of the mind. If there are thoughts, they are experienced by you. If there are no thoughts, the absence of thoughts is experienced by you. Notice something very interesting. If I am the thoughts themselves, then at any moment, if there is an absence of a thought, if the thoughts stop, then I'm not there. See, what am I? I am thoughts. I am mind. So if the mind stops in meditation or in deep sleep or just blank mind, which can always happen in a Vedanta class. What are you thinking? Nothing. Blank mind. If I am the mind and the mind stops, then I should say that I am not there anymore. But does anybody ever have any kind of experience as I was not there? To have an experience, you must have been there. That which experiences the vrittis of the mind, the activities of the mind, that which experiences the absence of the activities of the mind, that one is you. It is the witness. Sakshi. All right? But what's it made of? What is it exactly? If you tell me the body, I know, this is body, I can see. It's made of skin and bone and flesh and all. If you tell me mind, well, it's sort of vague, but I get it, what you mean by mind. My thoughts, memories, ideas, desires, understanding, not understanding, all of that bundle is the mind. Yeah, I get it. But now you say Sakshi. What is that? I understand I am something that is experiencing the mind, but if I'm something that's experiencing the mind, what is it? What's the material? out of which that Sakshi is made. What kind of thing is it? It's not a thing, but what kind of thing is it? Chaitanya Vigraha. What kind of thing is it? It's consciousness. It's consciousness. It's awareness. I'm using words in English in sort of interchangeably because there is no direct corresponding word for words like Chaitanya. In Sanskrit, many words are there to denote pure consciousness. Chaitanya, Chit, Samvit, Chiti, Bodha. Many of them we'll come across in this book. So look at the sentence. What we all, without thinking, we identify ourselves as this person. I am this person, Sarvapriyananda, bundle of thoughts, ideas, likes, dislikes, memories, desires, and ego altogether. This ever-changing, fluctuating, vague bundle inside this body. This is who I am. He says, no, you are the witness of that. Witness, what's that? That's awareness. Let's explore this a little more. One good way of doing this is using a method called Drigdrishya Viveka. You will have to do this in your own experience now. Remember, listen to what I say, understand what I say, and then experience it. Suppose you say, but how will I experience it? My answer is you already are. I'm just asking you to notice and experience. It's like saying, open your eyes, look at this, see the bottle of water. Now if you ask, how will I see the bottle of water? Just see. It's already present. Exactly like that. Well, not quite, but almost like that. We will see now. All right. The principle to be followed here is, the seer and the seen are two different entities. That's all. Drashta and Drishya in Sanskrit. Drishya, seen. Drashta, seer. The seer and the seen are two different entities. And this is commonly understood in common sense also, in philosophy also, in grammar also. In common sense, we know the food cannot eat itself. The knife cannot cut itself. The seer and the seen must be two different entities. If you're seeing something, it must be different from you. If you're eating something, the food must be different. Once it's in your tummy, it's you, but before that. So the seer and the seen must be two different entities. That's all. Let's start. For this, you have to keep your eyes open. I'll tell you when to close your eyes. Some of you already closed your eyes. You're jumping ahead. All right. I'm going to show you something. Look at this piece of cloth. All of you, actually look. As simple as that. Take a look. Now, be aware, this orange cloth, the Swami is, I'm also doing it with you. The orange cloth, I'm seeing the orange cloth. Good. Now your attention is on the cloth. It's an orange cloth. Now draw your attention back to the seeing eye. It's a seen object, orange cloth. Seen by the eyes, your own eyes. Draw your attention back to your own eyes. Okay. I'm dropping the cloth. The cloth is different from your eyes. Granted? That's really simple. I mean, a no-brainer doesn't get easier than that. The eyes are different from the cloth. Okay. Eyes are the seer, the cloth is the seen. The seer and the seen are different. And I note that the same eyes can see so many different things. But everything that the eyes sees are different from the eyes. And not only that, the eyes remaining the same, what they are seeing keeps changing. You just turn your head a little bit, you will see what you're seeing keeps changing. But the eyes are the same. So the seer and the seen are different. The seer is the same, the seen are many. The seer remaining the same, the seen keep changing. Now, sitting straight, relaxed. Notice the eyes. How do you notice the eyes? You can blink it if you like. You noticed. Bring your attention to the eyes. Eyes are closed, eyes are open, eyes are blinking. I could see well earlier, now I need glasses. So the mind is now become the seer and the eyes are the seen. Remember, listen, understand and experience. What did he say? The mind is the seer, the eyes are the seen. What does it mean? I am noticing that the eyes are open. I am noticing that the eyes are closed. And anything else you would care to notice about the eyes. What is noticing? The mind. What we just call antakarana. My eyes are open. It's a thought in the mind. Close your eyes and think. My eyes are closed. It's a thought in the mind. These are called antakarana vritti. Notice, the mind is different from the eyes. They are two very different kinds of things. The eyes is a kind of organ, physical organ. The mind is whatever it is, it's not a physical organ like the eyes. So mind is different from the eyes. Seer is different from the seen. Not only that, the same mind can see not only the eyes, the various conditions of the eyes, also experience the ears. Ears and sound are very different from eyes and seeing. Nose and smell are very different from sound and sight. But all of them are heard, such variety are experienced by the same mind. Mind is the seer, different from the sense organs. And the mind remaining the same. Same means mind changing into mind. Antakarana vritti into more antakarana vritti. But the variety of inputs from the senses keep coming and going. Seer and seen are different. Seer is one, the seen are many. The seer remaining the same, the seen keep changing. And now go deeper. With your eyes closed, think a thought, any thought. ABCD, Vakya Vritti. And notice that the thinking of that thought, ABCD, was an experience. You felt it, you saw it, or you experienced it. If you experienced it, then that vritti, the thought, is an object, is a scene, drishya. And you experience the thought. You cannot deny it. Look at it in your experience. You, the experiencer of the thought, you are the witness of that thought. I'll repeat again. I am experiencing my thoughts. I am experiencing the thoughts. Then the thoughts are drishya, seen. And I am the seer. Then I must be different from the thoughts. Because seer and seen are different. I am aware of the thoughts, but I am not a thought. Thoughts come and go. Seer, the seen keeps changing. The seer is one, does not come and go. Thoughts are many. How many different thoughts we have? Somebody estimated every waking day we have 16,000 thoughts in a day. Mostly trash. Otherwise you would be a genius. But we are the same. I, the same Sakshi, witness. I light up. I experience 16,000 or thousands and thousands of thoughts. I am one. Thoughts are many. I am unchanging. Thoughts are changing. I am separate from the thoughts. This eye, you can gently open your eyes now. So I am using eyes in two ways. Vertical eye, and horizontal eye. You can open your eyes now. And so the teacher is saying, Shakaracharya is saying, Sakshi, you are the witness, you are the seer, drashta of what? Antakarana tadvritti. Immediately we feel, I never thought of that. Let me experience that now. Let me experience the way I saw the world, the way I experienced the eyes, the way I experienced the thoughts. Now let me experience this Sakshi, this witness. Don't do that. This is a crucial insight in Advaita Vedanta. Please carry it home with you. Strong objectifying tendency all the time. The moment we hear of something, know of something, read about something, we want to experience it. What's wrong with that? We want to experience it as an object. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong as long as it is an object. But when it is a subject, you will never be able to objectify it. I, the witness consciousness, is the pure subject. It is you. It's never going to be an object which you are aware of. Quite obviously, logically. The pure subject can never be objectified. In the first verse of Drigdrishya Viveka, Drigeva natu drishyate. The seer is never the seen. Don't try to see the seer. You look disappointed. Oh, we won't see the seer. No, it's much more important than seeing the seer is being the seer. You are the seer. You are the drashta. You are the sakshi. Choicelessly so. You always were. You are now. Whether you accept it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you agree with it or not, you're still that witness consciousness. As one sadhu said, Tum jano ya na jano, tum mano ya na mano, tum hi Ram. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, you are Rama, you are God, you are one with God. So that drashta, that sakshi, that consciousness you are, never try to objectify, because you cannot objectify that. 1. You need not objectify that. 2. And you must not objectify it. 3. Why can you not objectify it? It is the pure subject, the one seer of all that is seen. So you cannot objectify it. It's impossible. If you say, I have now known my Atma, then whatever you may have known, it's not the Atma. It's the one which knows, one which realizes, one which sees, one which illumines. 1, you cannot do it. It can't be done logically. 2, you need not do it. The benefit that you are going to get, we might feel that, oh, but I came to be enlightened, I came to realize the truth, I came to know the truth, but you are not telling me you cannot know it, so then it's impossible. No, you need not know it. You need to be it. And you already are it. That is what is being revealed by this teaching. You need not objectify it. You are that. And you have to know that you are that, and that's where all the benefits will flow from. Not only that, you must not objectify it. If you try, you cannot objectify, but if you try to objectify, and which we will all do, the moment more you learn about Vedanta, the more sort of subconsciously a desire bubbles up to know this, which is trying to grasp it by our own knowledge. But you must not, because ultimately, in depth, that becomes a very subtle and powerful obstruction to enlightenment. A subtle and powerful obstruction to enlightenment. Notice the paradox of it. We must have the quest, who am I? What am I? Otherwise, spirituality, Advaita Vedanta is impossible. And yet, as we go deeper, one must step back from that quest of objectifying that who am I or what am I. Start with what am I? And I'm asking you to do something crazy. Start with what am I? Don't you dare find out what am I. When Ramana Maharshi instructs people, teaches people, find out who am I, he's not expecting an answer. He's not asking you a question. And, oh, Maharshi, I understand your question. I am now submitting my assignment, 15-page essay on who am I. No. You must realize it intuitively. So, Sakshi. And that is the nature of consciousness. Chaitanya Vigraha. Once more. Pure consciousness. Witness. Let's see. Actually try to do it. I will, short exercise. Same exercise. Look at the cloth. Look, actually, with eyes. I'll do it with you. Looking at the cloth. Seen. Eyes are the seer. Eyes and cloth are different. Close the eyes. Open the eyes. Close it once again. I noted my eyes were open, they were closed, and they were open again. That which noted the opening and closing of the eyes, that is the mind. The mind is the seer, the eyes are the seen now. The mind is different from the eyes. But these thoughts in the mind, eyes are open, eyes are closed, all of these thoughts also I have experienced. That means the thoughts of the mind are also the seen, the experienced, the object. And I am the seer of the thoughts. I am the experiencer of the thoughts. I am the subject of the objective thoughts. This experiencer, seer, subject is called Sakshi. Try to track it in actual experience. All you will notice is that the mind will become very quiet. Gently open your eyes. I have not pointed out pure consciousness to you. If you successfully do what you have done, you will find a quietness, a blankness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is that to which this blankness appears. Deep, peaceful, absolutely still mind. Next, drop that also. that which is going on, that which is there, that is being illumined by consciousness. That consciousness you are. Chaitanya Vigraha. And then, let's go on. Here he does not neglect to mention Satyaha, Satyasan. This consciousness is also existence. I am and I shine. I shine is consciousness. You might say, what do you mean I shine? Are you radioactive, radium or something like that? You shine in the dark? No. This world, look around you. It's lit up by sunlight. The sun is shining. You might feel like, I wish it would shine a little less. The sun is shining. But notice, even the shining sun, the sunlight there, that depends on your eyes being open. If my eyes are closed, then the sunlight also, no matter how much it shines, it's dark for me. So the sun is the light of the world. My eyes are the light of sunlight. Can I use that language? And if I'm not paying attention to any of this, I'll realize very soon, my mind is the light of the eyes. And the thoughts, feelings, emotions in the mind are continuously revealed to me because I, the consciousness, am the light of the mind. You are the light of lights. Jyotira Jyoti. Jyotira Jyoti, light of lights. It's not poetry. It is poetic, but it's also meant to be just a description of fact about what you are right now. You are the light of lights. You shining, the mind shines. You shining on the shining mind reveals the senses. Then the senses shine with borrowed consciousness. With these lit up senses, now the world shines for you. Light, physical light is revealed. Forms are revealed. Sounds are revealed. Taste, touch, everything is revealed. But behind it all, one light, and that's you. That light is also existence, Sat. I'm not going into the logical arguments behind it. We don't have time for that, but that's also, he makes it very clear that we are talking about consciousness and existence together. And this consciousness existence is Ananda Rupa. It is bliss itself. It is bliss itself. How is it Ananda? It will come later on today. Towards the end of, I think, today's analysis, it will come. Ananda Rupa, Satyasan. So this consciousness, which is existence, which is Ananda, I am that. Atmanam, kim Atmanam na prapadyase. Do you not know the Atman? This is the Atma. We say, Atma, oh, I see Atma is some spiritual stuff Vedanta talks about. Great. But what about me? It's you. So this verse is crucially important. It makes the transition from I, this bundle of body-mind, to I, the consciousness. No, we don't deny that we are conscious. Normally, we never deny we are conscious. If you ask a person, consciousness, yeah, I'm conscious. But normally, most of us, we think of ourselves as bodies with consciousness. Bodies with minds and consciousness. Or even a mind with consciousness. But we are now being asked to think of ourselves as consciousness experiencing mind and body. And through the mind and body, experiencing a world. Let me repeat that. This is the big jump which we are being asked to take. Instead of thinking of yourself as this fellow with something going on inside, this is what I think about myself. No. You are awareness. In awareness, you are aware of the thoughts and feelings in the mind. And through the thoughts and feelings in the mind, you are aware of the body with the senses. And through that, you are aware of the world. But you are basically awareness. You are basically consciousness. You are light itself, luminosity itself. Not that luminosity, you are the luminosity of that luminosity. Does that make sense, language like this? You are the light of lights? No. This is why the Q&A sessions are there. I'll ask you questions in the second session. I'm going to ask you, how are you the light of lights? Next verse. Equally important. We'll do that and stop for this session. It's a unit. The basic teaching has been given here. Verse number 12. Satyananda Swarupam Dhi, Satyananda Swarupam Dhi, Sakshinam Bodha Vigraham, Chintayatma Taya Nityam, Chintayatma Taya Nityam, Tyaktva Dehadigam Dhiyam, Tyaktva Dehadigam Dhiyam. Give up the misconception identifying the self with the body, etc., and always know yourself to be existence, knowledge, bliss, the witness of the intellect. All right. He is backing up what he just taught us. He says, Satyananda Swarupam. You are of the nature of Satya, existence. You are. I am. Ananda. You are the nature of bliss, fulfillment. So, Anandaham. I am bliss, I am ever fulfilled. Now, our question might be, oh, so is that some kind of a positive affirmation? It's a positive thought. I keep repeating, I am Brahman, I am Atman. No. It's not positive affirmation. You can do that, but there's no harm in that. But this is not what is being taught. You are expected to notice it. So, no, really, I am this reality, I am bliss. But where? How? How do I notice it? He says, Dhi Sakshinam. He's locating you. He's pointing out where you have to look. Dhi means intellect. Dhi means the mind, especially the intellect. All the thoughts which go through, the understanding which goes through the intellect. Right now, we are struggling to understand this, or we are understanding this. That's the intellect. And you are experiencing the intellect working. That one, right now in each of us, which is experiencing the mind working and trying to understand, intellect working and trying to understand, is called Dhi Sakshi. Dhi means intellect, Sakshi, witness. You are the light which is revealing the activities of the intellect. Some input is coming from Swami and your intellect is kicked into high gear, into action, trying to understand and process this. But this is an experience which you are having. How are you having this experience? Unless you are awareness, unless you are consciousness. You are Dhi Sakshi. When are you the Sakshi, witness of the intellect? All the time. If at one time the intellect stops, somebody said, when did it start anyway? I don't even think. I stopped using the intellect back in school. Now, whether you use the intellect or not, the active intellect is revealed by you, the consciousness. The inactive intellect is revealed by you, the consciousness. The intellect which gets it, I understand what you're talking about, is revealed by you, the consciousness. The intellect which doesn't get it, what nonsense is he speaking about? I don't get anything of what he is saying. That is being revealed by you, the consciousness. This is called Dhi Sakshi. In one of the hymns to Sri Ramakrishna, it is there, the words, very beautiful words, very evocative. Buddhescha sakshi nikhilasya janto yo vetti sarvam nachayasya vetta. You're talking about Sri Ramakrishna. And those who are devotees will say, oh, we believe in Sri Ramakrishna. I also believe it is an avatar. Avatar of whom? Of God. As Sri Vallabha, we spoke about avatar of Vishnu. Oh, we are chanting to him. But what are you chanting? Have you noticed carefully what you are chanting? What is this Sri Ramakrishna? Buddhescha sakshi. The witness of the buddhi. What buddhi? This intellect which is going on right now in my mind. And the witness of this, the one consciousness which is experiencing this intellect right now. Oh, that's me. I am experiencing intellect. Well, that's Sri Ramakrishna. That's God. Nikhilasya janto. In all living beings, the activity of the intellect is being is being experienced by that one consciousness. Yo vetti sakalam. All, the one who sees or illumines all first person experience. Wherever it's happening. Nachayasya vetta. But there is no one who knows that one. There is no knower of the knower. There is no knower of the witness. Why? Because you cannot objectify it, you need not objectify it, you must not objectify it. And we sing every day, those who do the arati of Sri Ramakrishna. Jyotira Jyoti Ujala Riti Kandara. Light of lights shining in your heart. Heart here means, Shakaracharya explains, Buddhi Guhayam, in the cave of the intellect. What is the light shining in the cave of the intellect? Not a physical light. It is consciousness. And that's what you are. So it is Dhi Sakshinam. The importance of this, you can say you are Sat Chit Ananda, you are Brahman, you are one with God, all that's cool, but how do I feel it? You must show me something that I feel or experience. Here is it where you feel it. As the witness, as that which witnesses your intellect. Hold on there. What's that made of? Bodha Vigraham. A new word has been introduced. Bodha. Bodha means awareness, consciousness. Same as Chaitanya. You are made of Bodha. Literally awareness, literally consciousness. All the time shining. Now, next he says, Chintaya Atmataya Nityam. Important instruction. Have you got it so far? I think so. So in ancient times, we were forced to memorize, or not even ancient, in our schools, traditional schools, Vedanta, you have to memorize it to make sure that you at least the information has been downloaded. You'd be surprised at how many people come to philosophy classes, Vedanta classes, spiritual classes, and they're thinking their own thoughts. Something gathered from here, something gathered from YouTube, from the net, from a few books, and some general conception. Put it aside. Have you heard what the teaching is? Step 1. Step 2. Think well upon it. Do you begin to get what is being said? Yes. And then stay with it. He says, Chintaya Nityam. Stay with it. How long? As long as it takes. Stay with it. How will I stay with it? What do I do with it? Atmataya. Very crucial. Atmataya means as I, me, myself. The mind plays a trick. I understand now what you're talking about. There is pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness is not a body, not a mind, it's never changing, it's not born, it does not die, it is free from all desires, it's luminous, it's wonderful. That's great, but I have so many problems. My problem is that my son doesn't listen to me, or my daughter is not taking the honors class, which is I want her to take in school or college. No. You're still thinking of yourself as this person, body, mind. What he's telling us, that pure awareness which we're talking about, always stay with it as I am that. I, me, myself, that's what I am. Otherwise, that I, me, myself will be this person, this body. I am awareness. I am of the nature of pure light, not as a slogan, as actually noticing. Chintaya Atmataya. Own up to it. Crucially for Advaita Vedanta, this is the sadhana. I understand Brahman, I understand Atma, I understand Sakshi, I understand consciousness. Now take the big bold step of saying, I am Brahman, I am Sakshi, I am consciousness. When Advaita Vedanta teaches Aham Brahmasmi, see how radical a teaching that is. Aham Brahmasmi means I am Brahman, or I am existence, consciousness, bliss. What does that mean? It means if I am Brahman, I am not the body, not the mind. I am awareness. That's one part of it. I am Brahman, I am awareness. The other part of it is also equally stunning. Brahman is nothing but you. It's not included, we'll come to that. It's not including many things and you also. It's just you. There is no God but you, and you are nothing but God. This is the teaching. That monk who touched the Swami in the head like this and then said, there, that consciousness which reacted that way, that reaction, from where that reaction came, that consciousness, that light, there's no God other than that. Very precisely worded. He also added a rascal that need not be added. There is no oi chhada kono shala bhagavan nahi. Aham brahmasmi. I am nothing but Brahman. Shakaracharya says, Mano buddhi hankara chittani naham. I'm not mind, I am not ego, not the memory, not the intellect. That is the antakarana we read about. I'm not that. Then only he says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. So what am I? I am not the body mind of Shakaracharya you think I am. I am of the nature of Shiva, consciousness bliss. What is Shiva? Nothing other than I. Other than I, the pure consciousness, there is no Shiva sitting up there in Kailash. There is no Kailasha, there is no mountain, no Shiva. It's just that one pure consciousness everywhere. That one alone is appearing as all this. Anyway. But the instruction here is, stay with it, stay with it. When will I stay with it? All the time. In meditation only? No. In meditation, very good. Out of meditation also. With eyes closed, with eyes open. In Vedanta class, outside Vedanta class. He adds, Tyaktva dehadigam dhiyam. Deliberately, consciously pushing out this identity with body-mind. Dehadi, body, etc. This body and the thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, personality here, deliberately seeing that I am not these. These are appearances. Why am I not this? We did this, Drigdrishya Viveka. I, the awareness, I, the seer, cannot be the seen. The body is clearly the seen. The mind is clearly the seen. Seen means Drishya. Therefore, I cannot be it. Like this, deliberately pushing out the identity with the body-mind and affirming the identity with consciousness. Stay with it. This can be practiced and should be practiced moment to moment. Life, don't worry. So where is the opportunity? I hardly get time with a lot of difficulty. You don't know, Swami, I came to this retreat. And meditation, good conditions are difficult to come by. So how will I stay with it? In day-to-day activity, the best arena for staying with it is out there. When you talk with people, when you eat a meal, when you drive on the freeway, when there is sickness, when there is anxiety, worry, fear, desire, hatred, negativity, or happiness, peace, whatever is going on, all of those are occasions for staying with I am the awareness in which all of this is appearing and disappearing. It's not me. This awareness is I, not that one. That's a thing. Like this bottle is a thing, this body is also a thing. This thought is also a thing. This desire, this anger is also a thing. That's not me. I am the awareness to which these are things. When can you practice this? All the time. Now you begin to see, in Vedanta we say life itself is meant for spiritual enlightenment, for realization. And we think, no, there are so few opportunities for enlightenment and practice. No, every moment God has made the perfect school for practice, day and night school, 24-hour school for staying with this. This practice, it can be done with eyes open and eyes closed. It can be done in the office, in the freeway, at home, when you're sitting quietly, when you're relaxing, when you're happy, when you're unhappy, when you're spiritual, especially when you're not spiritual. You can still practice it. Tyaktva dehadigam dhyam. Deliberately, consciously step back. One sadhu, I liked it very much. He used to say in Hindi, ये साधन जो है ना महात्मा जी थोड़ा पीछे हटके होती है. This spiritual practice, Mahatma ji, it takes a little bit of stepping back. Stepping back means what? If you step back too much, I'll fall off the stage. Not like that. Stepping back from body mind. This is what he is saying. Tyaktva dehadigam dhyam. Stepping back from identification with body mind. And how do you step back? Drigdrishya viveka, the discernment of the seer and the seen. He's already given us the instruments. Yesterday when we were driving back from Jasper, my hosts were driving me back, and a Bengali song to Kali was playing in the sound system there in the car. I think Kamalakanta song or Ramprasad song. And the line struck, I never heard that one earlier. The line struck me so significant, exactly what he's saying here. So the poet, the saint is addressing his own mind. We are supposed to do that, address our own mind. I'll tell you the Bengali and then translate. He's telling his own mind. That moner shotto mone rekhe thak na tui roshe boshe. You translate that, the mind's truth, keep in mind and stay in bliss. Oh my mind, why are you so worried, anxious, harried in this life? Driven, unhappy, miserable, whipped and tortured in this life. Keep the truth in your, the truth which is in your mind, moner shotto. What is the truth in the mind? This one, which has just been implanted. Shakaracharya has carefully implanted this truth in your mind. What do you have to do? Mone rekhe. You have to deliberately keep it in mind. It's not enough. I read about it, jump back into the life, and then come back next class and complain to Swami. Swami, it sort of works when I'm in the class and just listening to you, but when I step out it's all gone, when I go back into my life. But that's where you're supposed to hold on to it. That's the practice. Mone shotto mone rekhe. Keep it in mind. How do you keep it in mind? Attention. I forget, Swami. The moment you notice you have forgotten, just bring it back again. Don't waste time. It will never work. It's only for yogis. My mind is not up to. Don't waste time in that. The moment we notice that I have dropped that identification with consciousness, bring it back. Every moment is an opportunity. Every moment isn't the structure just like that? See the object. Eyes are seeing the object. Blink the eyes. The eyes are an object. Mind is the seer. The thoughts in the mind are the object. I am the consciousness which is the witness of the thought. And I am that consciousness. Done. It will take you 1 second if you're fast. If you're not fast, 3 seconds. Done. And that's the truth. The highest truth. Stay there. Moner shotto mone rekhe thak na tui roshe boshe in Bengali. Stay in bliss. You will see you will get bliss then. You will begin to experience release. Freedom. Attention. I saw in an ashram in our Vedanta society in Dallas, there was a rock on like a paperweight, big rock on my desk. It said, inscribed in it was, listen to this, you will never hear more wise words. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. It combines Vedanta and Yoga. Yoga is the science of attention. Vedanta is the science of self-knowledge. Combine the two. Very ancient saying. Na sankhya samam jnanam asti, na yoga samam balam asti. Yoga samam balam nasti, sankhya samam jnanam nasti. There is no knowledge like this knowledge of self and not self. Sankhya. And there is no power like yoga. In life we need both. This knowledge and this power. To make our lives blessed and lives of others blessed. The stories of Swami, two very cute little stories. Profound, but very simple. Swami Jagadananda, who wrote this. So he was a disciple of Ma Sharada. Long before my time. But I have met monks who have met him. So 2 stories. One is a little longish that involves me also. So there was a very senior monk in our order who passed at the age of well over 100. Swami Nirmuktanandaji. We used to call him Upen Maharaj. He was a disciple of Swami Shivananda. And if you know, Shivanandaji was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. So this Nirmuktanandaji, Upen Maharaj, I have seen him for years and years. Tiny little man. And towards the end, he used to be pushed around in a wheelchair. At that time, he was around 100 years old. Now, and I loved him. And he was very gracious. I like to think he loved me, but I could see that he loved everybody. And he was a very holy man himself. I still remember a monk, a very wise monk, told me once, looking at Nirmuktananda being wheeled along in that wheelchair in a distance. We were standing in the monastery, and this monk was telling me, you see that Swami? If I can roll in the dust on which he has walked, I would consider myself blessed. He's so holy. this person. So Nirmuktanandaji. I mean, the moment I say, I can see his ever smiling face, and he would ask me, he would call me the Pandit. He would say, Ki Pandit, Ki Porcho, what are you reading these days? Now, I heard, in fact, I saw this. He went to Swami Ranganathananda and asked him, Swami Ranganathananda was the president, 13th president of our order, and asked him, Swami, what will happen to me? Which means at the end of this life. And Swami Ranganathananda immediately told him, this is your last life. I shall come again, but you do not have to come again. So this was told to him. And this particular, when he told him this, I had not heard him. Because he used to, this Nirmuktanji used to come to Ranganathanji and once in a while ask him, what will happen to Amar Ki Habe Maharaj? Now after that, he never asked again. I wanted to verify this because I heard this thing. So I wanted to verify it from Upen Maharaj's own lips. So one day I saw Upen Maharaj sitting on the Holy Mother's temple. You know, if you've seen Belur Math near the Ganga, he was sitting there on the floor. So it was afternoon. A lot of people were coming and going. I went up to him and bowed down and said, I have a question, Swami. And I said, did Swami Ranganathanji, you asked Swami Ranganathanji what will happen to me at the end of this life? And then he said to you, and before I could complete it, the Swami himself told me, yes, he said, this is your last life, I will come back again, but you do not have to come again. So it was confirmed. And look at the caliber of this man, Upen Maharaj, I mean. Instead of talking about himself, he says, look at the quality of Swami Ranganathananda. He does not even want mukti. He wants to come back and do Swami Vivekananda's work. I said, Swami, leave all that aside. I was more excited about his imminent liberation than he was. I said, the Swami has blessed you that you will get moksha in this life. He was unmoved. His answer, such common sense, you know. His answer was in Bengali, "Han dekha jaat Mahapurushar Ashirvad." Well, let's see. It is the blessings of the Mahapurusha. Mahapurusha was Swami Shivananda, his guru. Then I asked him, how does an enlightened person see the world? Because I have this intuition, I still have, that he was enlightened. How does an enlightened person see the world? Is it like there's one existence, consciousness, bliss, and this whole world, after all, what is it? Is it like a shadow, like a movie or a shadow on that one existence, consciousness, bliss? And then I still remember, he paused for a moment and he said, no, why like that? It is not two, it is one. Okay, make of that what you will. I also made of it what I... Then I asked him the real question which was in my heart. Swami, are you seeing it like that now? He smiled. He knew I was asking him if he was enlightened, Brahmagyan. He smiled and he said, let me tell you a story. Okay, it goes like the story within story. Huh? Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, Swami Jagadananda is Swami. He was well known in our order as a Brahmagyani. People used to say that he is an enlightened person. So out of curiosity, Swami Buddhananda, I know to get all the names right, so many Swamis around. Swami Buddhananda was the head of the New Delhi Ramakrishna Mission, a very great scholarly monk. So he asked Swami Jagadananda, I'll tell you in Bengali and translate, Moshai, apnar ki Brahmogyan hoyeche? Shobai bole? Well, sir, are you enlightened? Everybody says you are enlightened. And then Jagadananda says, this Swami, he said, apparently he had this loveliest of smiles. He smiled a little and he said in Bengali, Ami bolle ki tomar bishwash hobe? If I say yes, will you believe me? So Upen Maharaj told me this story. Remember, this is happening in Belur Math on the bank of the Ganga in Mother's temple. He told me this. I immediately understand what he meant. I bowed down to him. I still remember. I touched his feet and I said, all right, Maharaj, I've understood what you wanted to say. So that story within story. And the second story I know about him, little anecdote. He was in his old age staying in the ashram in Dehradun. It's near Delhi, to the north, a place called Kishanpur, just on the outskirts of Dehradun. It's now within the city. It's a big city now. So we have a beautiful ashram there, and he used to stay there. And a brahmachari, young novice, who used to notice this Swami, who was reputed as an enlightened person and a great scholar of Vedanta. After all, he's translated this book and many other books, and extraordinarily precise translations. I mean, if you have the feel for it, you will notice the quality of the translation says something about the translator's mind. So here is a really great mind, very, very luminous mind. Now, this Swami, who is supposedly an enlightened person, what does he do? Early in the morning, he goes to the garden and he picks flowers from the flowering plants and collects them and takes them to the shrine for the daily worship of Sri Ramakrishna. There's a pujari who does that, but he collects flowers for that. So this brahmachari was confused, and this brahmachari went and asked the Swami, in Bengali, I'll tell and translate, Maharaj, apni ekhono phul tolen?